Starting. Hey everybody, we are live with Vaginal Fantasy. What is Vaginal Fantasy, you might ask? Well, it is an online book club where once a month me and my 3 co-hosts get together and discuss a romance novel, usually in the genre category, like fantasy, etc. And my 3 co-hosts are... Oh, I had my camera fixed on Kyla while I was talking. So let's just introduce... God, I really thought I nailed that one that time. I thought I was like, no, she didn't say or anything. Look, Kyla Casey's here.
Hello.
Bonnie Burton.
Hello.
And Veronica Belmont.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And the cool... What?
Are kind of dressed up. I have flannel pants underneath this, so I'm not wearing.
I'm not wearing any pants.
Neither am I.
So I worked so hard on this that I just kind of gave up on this, and so now this is what we're working with.
It's like podcasts and judges. They don't wear a lot underneath their.
Wait, judges? So all the judges don't wear anything under their robes?
No,
I do.
You said judges, and I immediately thought about like Olympic judges, and I was thinking at like the gymnastics competition where there's like a table and all the judges have nothing underneath.
Now
that made way less sense.
I give that a gold medal right there. Yes.
That's a 10.
Anyway, go ahead, Felicia. I just wanted to say we all look nice for.
No, we do look nice. We all have a good tiara collection, clearly. Although Kyla,
I don't.
She has bra strap tiaras right here, which I think is just as pretty.
Brobbling.
Well, Kyla, we'll go tiara shopping next time you visit San Francisco. We have a whole hardware store in the Castro that sells nothing but tiaras. So.
Oh, well, I would love that. Sounds like my favorite place in the world.
Tiara shopping.
Before we get into the book club itself, let's talk about what we're drinking, and it actually, some of them tie into what the book theme was. So, ladies, what are we drinking?
I'm trying the Black Velvet, which is half of Guinness and then half of like champagne, which results in this. And I'm a Guinness drinker.
Oh, you did it so wrong. You did it so wrong.
Wait, why?
Girl, if only I had been there. Because you're supposed to float the what is it? The champagne on top of the Guinness.
Yeah.
So, but you have to pour it in a certain way that they separate, so the one literally floats on top of the other one.
And it didn't happen.
You're not supposed to
Like
mix
a
them
black
together. Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Like a black and tan, yes. You can make black velvets. I've heard them called all sorts of different things. There's snake bites, black velvets, different combinations of lager usually, and cider, or champagne and Guinness, or whatever. It depends on what bar you go to. I'm sure someone's going to say, no, a black velvet is this. I always learned it was Guinness and pear cider, or hard apple cider. But that's a snake bite.
That might be better. I'm just doing it specifically how the author tweeted it at us, so that's how I'm doing it. And then when I looked it up online, it didn't say supposed to do it a certain way, but whatever. So I'm lemming that drink, and go straight to gin and tonic, mostly gin, as we can see from my friendly bottle. Look how it makes it a little happy face. See how that works? The googly
That is
eyes?
adorable. It was meant to have googly eyes. That
I'm doing gin and tonic because gin and tonic seemed like the pervasive drink in this book.
That's what I'm drinking. Yes, I'm also drinking a gin and tonic.
That's
Well, Kyla, what are you drinking?
That's so funny, because I am drinking gin straight from the bottle.
Bold. I'm drinking. I stopped at the corner liquor store and I got some Moscato, and I have this weird goblet. It's a little more like a fairy princess than a 20s. So, but it is Art Nouveau style. So I thought, oh, that's as close as I'm gonna get, because I forgot that I could drink gin.
Look, I'm a black velvet right now. Do you see me being a black velvet? That's kind of what it's supposed to look like.
No, that's pretty.
That's exactly what it's supposed to look like, actually.
Oh.
Not kind of. But it's delicious.
So, yeah.
So but that's the champagne underneath the Guinness, then, right?
Right.
Okay.
You're right. That's how it's supposed to work.
All right, guys. Well, if you're at home and want to drink a disgusting thing that will still get you drunk, there you go.
Yeah, try that. Also, gin from the bottle, disgusting.
It's a little intense.
Kyla, why don't you have some soda or mix some Sprite in there? Is that
I have a mocktail over here that I'm sort of chasing it with. It's just soda, soda water and a juice, a little bit of a juice.
But can you not put the gin in there and make a cocktail, like the Kyla cocktail?
I could, but I really hate gin, mostly. So I figure if I'm going to drink it, I'm just going to drink it.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I got you. Okay, so if you didn't know the club, we have a lot of local hangouts around the country and the world, and we'd like to give a shout out to those ladies and gentlemen who like to get together and discuss books, either the ones that we picked every month or ones of their own choice. Last month I forgot to do that, so here is a big old shout out to this month's and next month's hangouts if you want to join in. So this month the Naughty Nashvillians met, the Google Plus Vaginistas, the Reverse Cowgirls, the Jayville VJJs in Jacksonville, that's a new one, the Cranford Cove, the NoHo Cream Pies, the Chattanooga Femme Fantasies, the Beaver Tails, and the Gotham Quills and Quims, which actually Beaver Tails and Gotham Quills and Quims are on the 31st, so that's coming up. Next month we have the Buttered Crumpets in the UK, Naughty Nashvillians again, Shameless in St. Louis, Ambassador to Smut in Irvine, California, Viking Booty, that's a new one in Sweden, guys.
Nice.
Viking Booty.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Viking Vag.
Viking Vag might be. Okay. Okay. The VF Down Under Google Plus Hangout, the NoHo Cream Pies again, the Reverse Cowgirls in Austin, and the Cincinnati Dayton February Vaginal Fantasy Meetup. I thought there was the Gaslight Girls or something. Anyway, so lots of groups around the country and the world who are meeting up. If you want to join in, just go to our local groups section on goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy. Okay. Anything to talk about before we start, guys?
Apparently my dog is like building a house behind me. She's being extra aggro when she's making her nest because I guess she wanted to go outside for the 80th time today. And
she's like rage nesting right now?
She really is. She almost knocked RCD.
Look at her go! She's like really...
Look at her. She's like angry. That's like rage nesting right there. She's like.
And then we got kitten. We got a kitten rage here on Kyla's camera.
I know he's insane right now, and he won't stop with all the wires and the things and
All right.
And also
over there.
Fly buzzing around my apartment. So if all of a sudden my camera's overtaken by a fly, I'm not dying. I'm not attacked.
But if flies overtake your face, you're dying by fly. Okay. Transitioning into that, our theme this month was Downton Abbey. So smooth transition there into so this month is the premiere of season, I believe, 4 of Downton Abbey, guys. Mm-hmm. And 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Anyway, I watched 3 episodes of it, so
I've seen all of that.
You should be into that. I'm totally into Kyla. You and I are into it, right? Like,
I love it. No, it's my favorite.
I've only seen the first episode so far. I didn't see it ahead of time like I usually do.
Oh, aren't they all?
It's okay. There was no homework, but we just wanted to celebrate Downton Abbey's coming back with 2 books that were thematically tied to Downton Abbey. So our alt book, we have a review. Kyla reviewed The American Heiress. So you, on this channel, the Vaginal Fantasy channel, you can watch our alt vlog reviews. Kyla, you did a lovely job this month for that one. Yay. And then this month's main pick was A Spear of Summergrass by Deanna Raybourn. And Bonnie's going to hold up the thing while I read the description. The daughter of a scandalous mother, Delilah Drummond is already notorious, even amongst Paris society, but her latest scandal is big enough to make even her oft-married mother blanch. Delia is... Oh, where's the other page? Delia is something. Anyway, she goes to Africa. What happened? I'm missing a page.
You want me to read the back of it?
Yeah, read the rest of it, Bonnie. I don't know. I'm missing a page, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to read the back of it. It's in cursive, so I don't know quite. Here, I gotta do the thing where I put on my glasses because I'm old. Okay.
I'm gonna drink my way through this.
So don't believe the stories you have heard about me. I have never killed anyone. This is the back of the book. I'm not talking. I've never killed anyone, and I have never stolen another woman's husband. Only if I find one lying around unattended. Joke. Okay, I might climb on, but I never took one that didn't start talking, didn't start wanting, whatever. And I never meant to go to Africa. The end.
The end.
Oh, I got it up. Guys, I must have lost a page. Anyway, she goes to Kenya and her favorite stepfather's Savannah Manor house until gossip subsides. Fairlight is the crumbling skeleton of a faded African dream, a world where dissolute expats are bolstered by gin and jazz records, cigarettes, and safaris. As mistress of this wasted estate, Delia falls into the decadent pleasures of society. Against the frivolity of her peers, Ryder White stands in sharp contrast. As foreign to Delia as Africa, Ryder becomes her guide to the complex beauty of this unknown world. All right, that's enough.
Okay.
So, let's do our general thoughts, and then we'll get into the details. I don't know what I'm doing here. Veronica, go first, because I really love your Peter Pan collar today.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to be on theme. I loved this book. I thought it was really fun. I didn't even realize until I finished the book last night. I didn't even realize until we got all the way through that it wasn't that we don't normally read non-paranormal romance type stuff, sci-fi fantasy, and yeah, I just enjoyed it so much that I got all the way through, and then I was like, oh yeah, wait, this is kind of different from what we usually read. But of course, it's kind of hard to find paranormal / Downton Abbey / romance stuff. So I think we niched ourselves a little bit too hard with that particular.
Well, I think that we've done in the past we've done a couple, like historical kind of falls under genre. So the only thing we're not going to be doing is like Abigail is a hit woman in 1994 Miami. You know, we probably won't do those kind of books. But,
Those are great.
okay, Bonnie. We'll figure a genre angle for it. Anyway.
Yeah, but I thought it was really, I really liked, I'm sorry, what was the character's name? Delilah?
Ryder and Delilah.
Delilah. I thought she was just such a hoot. People were asking why I was chair dancing earlier, because in my mind, when you were talking about, like, the, swinging dance parties and gin and tonics, I was going like, hello, my baby, hello, my darling. Which I think is not even the right time period. Anyway, maybe ragtime was the right time period. What? Am I even speaking English? I've had too much gin. Hello, my name is Veronica Belmont.
So early.
Yeah, so early. I made a really large gin and tonic. But I liked the ending. The only problem I had with the book, and it was not a major problem, is that the ending just felt very sudden. I felt like I needed a little more like Delilah Ryder time of them kind of getting together. And is this a series or is this a standalone?
I believe it's a standalone, so that's the weird part. A lot of people on the forum commented like either the ending was abrupt or I want to see the next one. So right. I don't know if that's good or bad.
So I think that's a good thing, because I wanted to know more about their story and kind of like the life they're going to be building together, hopefully, in this new world. And it was very different from everything we've read before in terms of setting and the story, and I really liked it. I thought it was an interesting read.
Yay, okay. Well, we will get more in-depth as we go into the hangout. Let's go to Kyla. Lovely Kyla, what did you think of this book?
I loved it. It was like, it was like everything I wanted out of Africa to be. It's like, oh, I get to watch Out of Africa, but with a happy ending. Spoiler. And
I mean, isn't a spoiler? It's like 30 years old, but okay.
Yeah. and yeah, I just thought it was so great, and her character reminded me so much of either Miss Fisher's murder mysteries, and I'll get into all of that, and whatever that one is with the farm with Kate Beckinsale. I'll think about what that is called. And I just thought it was amazing. She was an incredible heroine. And I agree with you, though, that the ending was a little abrupt. Like I wanted a little more romance there. But I have come to expect that from Deanna Raybourn's books. They're very understated in that way. It's something you just sort of feel rather than experience. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a mystery unto itself, and you're like, oh yes, that means that they're going to be together.
Yeah.
But but I can see how it is also unsatisfying. But
and then he's probably going to die of, what was that, fever?
Right, the malaria.
Yeah, was it malaria? Was malaria the answer to that? Was that what the whole thing was?
No, because it was like after you get malaria 5 times, then it's some other thing.
Yeah, it turns into something else. What was it? What was it, guys?
It was I don't know. It was like black water.
Black fever? Black something?
Black Velvet?
Black
I think
Velvet. It was definitely Black Velvet.
Yeah, if you please.
Chat room
Sorry.
will answer us shortly.
Yeah, chat room will give us to us.
I think it's Black Water Fever. I think is what it is.
Is it Gay Fever or do whatever?
It was Blackwater Fever because then I was like, isn't that a securities firm with scandals in Iraq? And then I was like, yeah, what a nerd.
Anyway, those are my feelings for right now.
There was just so much too. Like, I'm sorry, I have to jump in real fast because I was thinking, like, we talk about. I mean, she has this history in England, and then she's got this history in New Orleans and Louisiana, and then Africa. And I felt like there's just so much more. Someone in the chat room said there are prequels, so I would like to go back and learn about her life in America and how she ended up back in England and.
Someone said there's a writer prequel, which I'd love to read.
A writer prequel called Far in the Wilds, and that's the writer prequel.
Oh.
And there's A City of Jasmine, which is about 2 other characters, but they know Delilah, like they know these other characters. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's in the Goodreads chat, there's a bunch of people have chimed in on what order to read them in, and which ones are the better ones. So there's definitely. In this universe or in this world, there's other books with characters you get introduced in, and I think A City of Jasmine is where this main character gets introduced. So it's like a prequel, but it's like, hey, there's that girl, there's the welcome to our party. It's like that kind of thing. So
we got Cat Scratch Fever, we got Boogie Fever, we got Saturday Night Fever. We got a lot of fevers here in the chat room.
Good job, chat room.
Also, it's Cold Comfort Farm. Twitter told me.
Was that the one with the enema?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe?
I'm just saying that the only thing I remember about that was Matthew Broderick, I think, got an enema.
No, that's the different one. That's the one about the sex place. Where they give the ladies thing. Yeah, no, Cold Comfort Farm is she's just very, like, she just goes in and she takes care of things and she just fixes everyone's problems and then at the end fixes her own. Okay. And it's amazing.
Bonnie, just to get your general thoughts before we dive into some forum comments, and guys, if you're in chat, you can throw some questions out as we go along. We'll try to pick them out. Thank goodness for chat. Thank you, Google Hangout, for getting that back. So, Bonnie?
Yeah, I actually really like this book, and I said on Twitter earlier to the author who was a little too nervous to watch us, which I don't totally disconnect to that because I know how authors hate to watch their book. It just totally disintegrates.
We are terrible people, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet at Deanna right now and tell her that we're saying terrible things.
Yeah, so I liked the book so much that I did not have to pretend there was a werewolf in it. Usually with historical novels, if I get bored, I have to pretend the characters have this other life that we don't know about because that's the only way I can get through a novel. And this was a slow-moving novel at the beginning. It took me a while to get into it. But I'm a big fan of Miss Fern Fisher Murder Mysteries on Netflix, and it's during this time period, and this main character totally reminded me of her, and so I just projected onto this book that character a bit more, and that's why I loved it. I mean, I love anything set in the 1920s. I really I like Agatha Christie murder mysteries too, and that kind of reminded me a little bit of some Agatha Christie characters and Agatha Christie novels. I didn't get a Great Gatsby vibe from this really, except for maybe at the beginning with the party and that sort of thing. But I love this era, and I love when there's strong characters. And I really like this main character. Like, she really was I love that she did not apologize for her sexual behavior or sexual identity, and she got around, but so what? It's the 20s. And during that time, it was very, I wouldn't say free love like the 60s, but there was definitely a lot less, I shouldn't say there were less morals, because everyone's talking about, obviously she leaves because of a scandal, but I would say that sexual promiscuity was not necessarily looked down upon. There were a lot of party girls in the 20s, and so...
Yeah. Everything I know about that period, I know from Downton Abbey, though. So my view on this time period is very skewed.
Murder Mysteries on Netflix if you want. It's based in Australia, but it's in the 20s, and it's a great show. And also, there's so many TV shows and movies set in the 20s that are just kind of fun to look at that time period. I'm a big fan of that time period. I love the clothes. I love the hair.
Clothes are so good.
Cocktails. And so I was totally drawn into this book, even though it was set in Africa, not the whole book in Paris. So I really liked it, and that's a lot coming from me because there's no major graphic sex scenes in the book, and it's kind of a slow burn, and it's not like our usual fare of vampires, werewolves, ghosts, and witches. So I really liked it.
I wanted to hang out with her mom more.
Yeah, me too.
I know,
Awesome.
great character.
I love that they're both kind of like, well, can I swear? Are we allowed to swear now?
Yeah, we can do what we want now.
All right.
Oh, good.
Gladys all like, yeah, and fuck you guys, and fuck you guys. Like, she was so, like, no nonsense about, like, everything. She's like, yeah, no, I'm not down with that. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Like, I'm just going to do my thing. Like, seems like someone we could be friends with, you know?
Yeah, I love the eccentric woman who's like, I mean, I've always loved courtesans, and I'm like, oh, they had it fun. Every time you read about ancient
I thought you said cortisone, like the...
I love courtesan because they get hives a lot, and no. So I agree with you guys. I really loved the book. The setting was really fascinating. It was interesting and unique, and that's what partly what I loved about it. I love the 20s. I love Delia in that she had so many good quips that she came back with. She reminded me of like those 30s movies with like Katharine Hepburn or like Carol Lombard, where a guy never got the upper hand. She was way too quick to let them have the last laugh or the last line. And even though she was over the book, she kind of had a lot of skills that were unbelievable. Like she was a medic and she was also a hunter, and she had a lot of skills that you're like, whoa, really? She does all this and is a party girl? But, like, I just went along with it because I enjoyed her so much and I enjoyed the setting so much.
I think that was the only thing that kind of got me was her being, like, a crack shot at everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the being a medic I can kind of buy because she, did her time in the war and, like, had experience. And many women had to learn those skills. So that's not that unusual. But the shooting thing, I just think, but a lot of women of that age in that time went hunting. I mean, it was very popular. I also learned that from Downton Abbey. So, maybe she did have some...
At that time, fox hunting was huge. And so they expected the women to be just as good a marksman as the men. That wasn't a sexist thing. Like, actually, the aristocracy at that time was like, if you're a rich woman and you're good at a fox hunt, you are a catch. Because they want that type of woman. They want her to be not necessarily athletic, but definitely outdoorsy because that's something that rich people do. And they have to go out and, you have to be good at tennis and maybe golf, but definitely the hunt is like a big deal in that society at that time. I mean, I think they outlawed fox hunting by now, but that was not like the British hunt, like going with a bunch of rich people in top hats and chasing after foxes. I don't think they allow that anymore. I honestly. But back then it was a big deal. So when I read it, I didn't think it was like a Mary Sue situation where she's immediately great at everything. Like you said, Veronica, she had nurse training because of the war. So that's why I was like, well, she probably does know basic stuff on how to pull a parasite out of a toe. Like she probably knows all that stuff.
Well, she was a nurse for 3 years, I think, so that at least was explained well. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Her dad showed her how to shoot. That's explained in the book too. So that's why I didn't see it.
Did you ever see High Road to China?
No, who's in it?
Bess Armstrong and Tom Selleck. It's amazing. No. It's amazing. And Bess Armstrong, she's like a socialite. She has to go find her dad in order to get, because she's going to get cut off, and he's somewhere in China all crazy, and so she hires Tom Selleck to like fly her places, except for that she's a much better pilot. And it's like this whole thing. It's great, and she's got the awesome hair and the great pilot outfit, and then all the other stuff, and it reminded me of that as well. You should totally check out that.
I'm totally watching that. Tom Selleck romance in that period. Yeah.
Did he have really... so he's like in the 20s, but he has like the stash and everything?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he's a pilot.
In the 20s?
I think he has like a little 5 o'clock shadow too.
They didn't have, did they really have those stashes in the 20s? That is a firmly 70s stash, okay?
They might have trimmed it. I would have to look it up.
You have to look at mustache in the sense of, like, if you watch him on Blue Bloods, if you look behind him at that portrait of Teddy Roosevelt, Teddy had that same mustache. So back then, like, and that's, he had the same mustache. I mean, it's a little wilder in the 80s because I don't think they had the mustache wax requirement that they do now, but, he definitely trimmed it down. So I kind of feel like, I love that we're discussing his mustache, by the way.
What else would you discuss?
I've been watching $1 Million American Princesses. You know that.
Oh, is that good? I want to watch that so badly.
It's really, really good.
Wait, what is this?
$1 Million American Princesses. It's on the Smithsonian Channel. You can either, if you can get it on cable, I think it doesn't come on demand until the 31st, but you can also just buy it on iTunes or whatever. And I watch it when I work out. There's only 3 episodes, but it's great. It talks about the Vanderbilts. Talks about all these women, you know, that were new money in America, and they come over to England to buy a title, basically.
Wow.
Like Downton Abbey. And so you see all these men, you know, like the Duke of Marlborough and everybody, and you see the pictures of them, and they have the mustache.
It's a weird thing too, because I think it's a military thing. Because back in World War I, there were a lot of military guys had that mustache. So it like went into the 20s. It wasn't quite like the Thin Man mustache of William Powell, because that's the mustache I think of mostly of the 20s.
Like the 30s.
Yeah, and this book actually reminded me a little bit of the Thin Man series. That's more set in the 30s, but you see that party girl attitude, those guys in the dapper suits and their little William Powell mustaches. So I definitely
we have some comments from the forum. Shelley says, I'm definitely getting Princess Leia Han Solo vibe from the Delia Ryder relationship. If Leia were the naughty princess, did anybody get that?
Yeah, totally. Well, they argue all the time. And the number one argue relationship we all know in pop culture, where it's argue sexual tension, argue sexual tension is Han and Leia. So
or Moonlighting.
Moonlighting, I love that show.
Moonlighting, I've had that forever.
Sarah said,
or Remington Steele, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Sarah from the forum says, my favorite thing, though, is we have a character who not only joins sex with multiple partners and acknowledges that each relationship interaction has a different dynamic. She's not sure how historically accurate it is, but it was refreshing to have a character that owned their sexuality and didn't have to be ashamed of that, which I totally agree.
And she wasn't an adulteress, which I think is great to point out, is even though she was sexually active and she had a lot of different partners and each one she compartmentalized, she never stole anybody's man. Like, she never ruined a marriage. Like, that's, I think, I don't know. I thought that was cool.
She did have a moral code. Like, she sleeps with people because she's single and they're unattached and she's unattached and there is enjoyment there, but she never broke up her marriage or was unfaithful in her marriage or broke up another person's marriage. And I thought that was a moral code.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gosh, I feel there's so many relationships of hers that I wanted to learn more about, like with that poor man Misha that killed himself, and the relationship with Johnny in the beginning, like there's so much stuff. Like, what a sad shit she went through. Like, that sucks. Like, no wonder she's touchy about things, but in some regard. But
that first one just broke her.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, let's go around. The next category we go to is lore, which we don't really have a fantasy lore or a mystery lore, but we do have a different world. So the world setting was really unique in that it was colonial Africa, and I think that personally, it seems like a place that you want to tiptoe around because not good things were done back then. And what did you guys think of the portrayal of colonial Africa, of the whites and the black, like the dynamic between the races? And was it believable? Was it too modern looking back? Was it, did she try to make it look better than it was or worse than it was? What did you guys think?
Can't go.
Yes. Are you ready? Oh my God, you're raising your hand. Yes,
I think it felt very authentic for her perspective. So I think, looking at it from the outside and knowing the ultimate outcome of that situation and how those kinds of situations turned out in the future, like, you're kind of like, oh, this is not, this is not going to be great. But at the same time, from her perspective, there's still a lot of, it's still very hopeful. It's still, they feel like the stewards of this land, even though they have no real right or reason to feel that way. But, they're still, at least from her, it's coming from a place of good. She, didn't intend to be there. She's being thrown into this situation. She's trying to make the best of what she can while she's like living on the land. And so, yeah, I think it was believable from her perspective. Of course, we have the ability to look back at it from a historical perspective and feel about it differently. But, yeah. That's it.
Melody Pierce says you can read about her and Johnny in A Whisper of Jasmine, a prequel to City of Jasmine.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's sad because we know how that ends.
We did have a lot of comments on the forum about people did think that a woman from the deep south in the 20s had a very progressive look on race that was a tad unbelievable given the circumstances of the way she was raised. Did anybody feel that it was too sort of retro-con about like a 20th century, late 20th century perspective on race put on a 1920s woman, or what?
In Europe at that time, I mean, Josephine Baker went to Paris to have a career because she couldn't have one here. Like, I honestly think that at that time it was much more progressive over there in Paris and Europe because they didn't have the kind of, there's obviously the Brits shared in our shame of plantation owning and slave trading, but for whatever reason there, it was easier for black academics and scientists and performers to have real careers over there and be appreciated as opposed to here at that time. So it's interesting, too. This is the jazz age, and this is when jazz music is king in the 20s, and I almost feel like at that time African Americans and I guess, I don't know what you would say in Europe, African Europeans were treated much differently. However, in Africa, you have a totally different situation because of the imperialization of the Brits coming over and just taking everything. And
which was portrayed in the other characters. There were a lot of other characters who had very offensive, racist views on race. It's the Reverend, the bad guy Gates, I guess, on her farm. Like, there were a lot of people who were outright racist, who were just awful. I was like,
he was the worst. Wasn't he the fucking worst?
He was the fucking worst.
Yeah, it's. I'm not saying racism wasn't existing in 1920s, but I am saying that in Europe, for like the elite, like the really rich aristocracy, yeah, obviously there's racists in that group, but I think having her be portrayed, hey Jen, in the way she was in the book, I thought it was accurate. But again, we're all modern day women looking back on this, and we're modern day white people looking back on this. So I don't know exactly how accurate it was. She does say, though, in interviews, because I did some reading on this, the author said she's never been to Africa. So she did all of her like animal research and studies. I mean, she did research clearly, but she went to go look at animals and stuff at like Marine World and Animal Kingdom and places that you would go and see creatures of this ilk. So I thought it was interesting she'd never been to Africa, because I thought the descriptions were brilliant and beautiful and perfect. And
it was weird because in the thanks she was like, Busch Gardens, thanks a lot, and I was like, wait a minute, you didn't go to Africa? Like what?
Well, I mean, you don't want to be too strict on this because Shakespeare didn't go anywhere and he wrote some great stuff. So.
No, that's true. No, absolutely. I'm not saying. I was surprised. I was like, oh, I would have used this as an excuse to tax deduct, but I do that all the time.
I would get all the malaria. I get all the disease. I would get malaria instantly, pretty much.
No, you're a disease magnet, Veronica. You can't go anywhere. Stop it.
Tuberculoid over here would be like.
Yeah. You can't. Well, unless you had like someone who'd been in World War I helping you out, maybe you could have like a military nurse hang out with you.
Oh, and then she could extract parasites from my feet.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so gross. It was so
Get them out of there.
To make sure all the pus is out.
Ah!
Cauterize it.
No, thank you.
Mr. Adam 10 says, who's that woman in Veronica's spot? Is that her evil twin with different hair? I think that was a compliment.
What? I don't know how to take that. Is that because I'm staring?
It looks like it looks like you're. Yeah, I think a lot of people are loving the swearing, especially with the tiaras on. I think that's amazing. Motherfucker. Okay. What did you guys?
Shit.
I know. We're free, guys. We're free.
It's like when you take your bra off.
bitches!
It's like when you take your bra off at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're like. Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, I can't do that. There's too many gifs of me shaking my boobs on the internet as it is. I can't
Are there
contribute
really?
to that.
Do you do it a lot?
No, let's not get into that. Furious Googling is happening right now somewhere.
What did you guys think about moving on from the lore, which we've already covered, the African the African society and African setting? What did you guys think of the story and the plot? A lot of people, we had a lot, not a lot, but some comments that did not like Delia at all in the beginning, and halfway through they're like, I love this girl.
Wait, is it Delia or Delilah?
Delilah. I'm sorry, Delilah.
It's okay. No, I just thought I was screwing up.
I kept saying Delia's because of the clothing company, so I'm
I got it.
That was my jam. That was my jam.
Mine too, and they're not open anymore.
What?
Yeah, no more Delias.
No more.
What happened?
They're gone.
They're gone.
Bankrupt.
Oh my god.
I love Delias.
I know. Me too.
I made Forever 21, but a little bit better.
I made
I know.
buy something. I think I bought like a long jacket on sale, and then they sent me a very nice handwritten note. And I'm like, if they're thanking me with handwritten notes, they're in trouble because that doesn't seem like something
a big company would do.
I love Delilah, except for a lot of people bullied her cousin at the beginning, and but I thought there was mutual kind of insults going back and forth, so it didn't bother me as much as it definitely bothered our readers in the forums.
Mm-hmm. She was pretty mean to her. I really did.
She was definitely dismissive and didn't value her as an equal. She treated her as an inferior, definitely. I think there's a lot of people didn't like Delia in that way.
Delilah.
I'm drunk. Stop it. I can't.
Rhymes with Kyla.
Oh,
Kyla, Delilah.
And now I'm learning how to say your name by this. So this really is very beneficial.
Finally.
Okay, we're not even into the character part. We're talking about story, and then we go to characters. Okay, so let's keep this on track, Felicia. What did you think of the plot and the story? Was it believable? Did you like it? Did you see? Did it make sense?
I wanted to ask you this. Do you guys think the scandal was worth leaving for?
I think that yes, because she needed the money. She wasn't going to get any more money if she didn't leave. So she had no choice.
But she had money, right? I thought. She had to leave because of her grandpa. Grandpa, yeah.
They weren't going to give her any more money unless she got out of town until this scandal died down. So she had to go.
What was that? Remind me. What was the scandal again? What happened?
Explain the scandal.
The jewels? Was it with the?
It was, or she got went to jail. I don't know. I can't remember. It was at the beginning, and I don't really.
The chat room say the scandal was. I don't even remember.
Tell us what the scandal was. We can't. I know.
Look in the chat room. I'm having a furious discussion about the pronunciation of GIF.
Oh, they're really like, you know what? It's whatever.
Animated GIF. It's GIF.
It's GIF. It's not peanut butter. Okay, you guys.
It's not peanut. It's GIF. I don't care what the inventor said. I don't care. I don't give a flying fuck. It's GIF.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
He's wrong.
He's wrong about his own thing.
And I'm mad now.
It's a JPEG and a GIF.
Animated goddamn GIF.
Not a GIF. And then when people say GIF, I saw somebody said GIF on TV the other night at some show, and I was gonna kill myself.
I'm gonna seriously. Let's all just kill each other because we're so mad. Let's just, go out, all four of us. Just, I don't care. This is a murder, a four-way murder thing, whatever.
It should be GIF. You're right, Veronica. No, you're right. It should be GIF and JPEG. That's what I meant. I don't know why I said.
Like calling it gay peg.
Oh, so we can call off the murder. then.
We don't need to murder each other right now. Okay,
All right.
let's.
We don't need a murder pact. All right. Hold
Well,
off
we
on the
still
murder
need
pact.
we still need a murder pact. But
Okay, I want Bonnie to kill me first so she can stuff me like one of her mice.
Yes.
Oh.
And then
You
wait a week, and then you guys can follow.
Want to be made into a coat rack, Veronica, or a table?
I don't know. What do I work better as? This is a good coat rack. Shruggy.
I would use you as a coat rack. I would.
Look, now I'm an emoji. I'm Shruggy emoji.
You were Kanye Shrug.
Oh boy. Okay, let's not talk about the plot. Let's talk about. Well, we already can all agree that there wasn't enough smut. All right.
No.
I mean, not enough
There's
smut.
none. No, there's none.
What did you guys think of the hunting?
The what?
Oh,
Hunting. You know, killing animals.
The hunting?
Yes.
I didn't like it.
It's sad, but time and place appropriate. I
Right,
guess.
exactly.
And it's not like they're doing it in the middle of Paris, but you know.
And
It's
Ryder was doing it. He had his whole explanation of being like, you know.
Mhm.
He did. And Gideon had a
Environmentalist.
thing about, like, if a man kills, 10 lions, then he's unlucky, or whatever. So there's...
Yeah, that's the
they all
thing.
had a thing.
Yeah, it's like Lion King. Don't be killing that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I did like the monkey, the Patel's monkey. Isn't there a helper monkey in this? I feel like there was a monkey in the book.
I don't think there was a monkey. Was there?
No, the guy did have a monkey. The
Oh, yeah, he had a
the
helper monkey.
Yeah,
This
helper-
is true.
yeah, it was a
Mr. Patel? Was it Patel?
Yeah, I thought it was Patel that had the monkey. And then I had to look up animals because I don't know a lot about safari animals. So the hyrax I had to look up. And
Yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, somebody else mentioned that. Ashley on the forum said I found myself googling a lot of the animals. Hyrax and Shalimar mentioned and learned about Kenyan colonial history along the way. Way more than I expected to get out of a romance novel.
Shalimar's not an animal.
Yeah, I thought that's a perfume, isn't it?
Well, okay, she should have looked up a bunch of stuff. Okay.
I think my mom wore it. Shalimar and Ciara.
I've been the whole time, and Shalimar is like an animal you squeeze to make the perfume. Like, what's a Shalimar?
Hey.
I'm fired.
What's the animal that gave everybody the poops? What's the one that she wasn't allowed to go? When they were on the hunt, they're like, "Don't shoot that one because they'll be in the bush for a while and they'll be mad at you."
Was it? Oh, wait, it was something they
Starts
ate.
with E, or an A in it, or an E, or something.
Oh yeah, they were talking about pooping in the bush a lot, but I thought it was
Yeah.
something they ate. No, it was something they shot.
Yeah, well, it was something that she was supposed to go out and get them food. They were
Right.
like, and so they were like, shoot an antelope, don't shoot these things because they give you the
Oh,
things.
when you eat them.
When you eat them. When you
Not
eat
like
them.
a curse.
Yeah, it's not a curse.
It's not like you shoot them.
And you immediately it happens. No. Which might actually happen to me if I shot a lion. So I don't know.
Oh, I would definitely shit myself if I was anywhere near a lion. Like, full stop.
Like there'd be crying. It would just be like everything happening all at once.
It'd be fear and sadness and like mostly fear, more fear.
It was the. I associate the apocalypse happening before I would ever get to Africa. So if that happened, kill my own food, I would be a vegetarian because I can't look at something in the eye and know it's going to go. Like, I can't even eat food that still has heads on it. Like, I can't.
No, I can't. There was one. I was in Barcelona, and people were like, "Just eat the head of the sardine." It was deep fried, and I was like, "I'm eating an eyeball."
I can't even eat shrimp heads. I can't.
Oh
do
no!
it.
Wait, no.
Although I have to say, so Conquest Adventure Journal, which is quite a name, said like a wild Giselle. Like, and that just made me think of like Giselle Bundchen just like leaping through the savannah.
I would shoot her.
I would definitely.
Like, I think I could eat a supermodel, but there's not a lot. So it would have to be like, I feel like I'd have to
Clean meat,
eat a human. It can't be a model because it's going to be like really, it's going to be like nicotine filled.
Stringy, very stringy.
You would not be able to get a model at Whole Foods. Like, there's too much like stuff inside them, toxins and things. Like,
yeah, they're not organic models.
Free range hippie, really. You're not even a hippie, just a free-range person that's slow-moving. Then I can control that. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. Okay,
Why do we talk about anything?
Why are we talking about that? Okay, let's move on to the characters, because obviously the sexy times we got into we could tie in sexy times with characters. Obviously, we talked a lot about Delia.
Delilah!
Delilah! I'm drunk. Delilah. What about her sister Dodo? Which, by the way,
Not her sister, it was her cousin.
her cousin. Whatever. I'm wrong on everything tonight. Okay, her cousin. What did everybody think? Everybody kind of hated Delilah because she treated her cousin so badly. Did you guys? How about how she ended up her cousin? What do you guys think about that plot?
Where did Lawrence come from? Where did gay Lawrence come from? When did that?
He was at the first dinner. He was at the first dinner party.
Oh.
He was at the party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he was the missionary, right?
Yes. I mentioned this in the forums, and I have to 100% agree with this. I'd rather have her ended up with Lawrence's sister than Lawrence.
Exactly. I agree. Everybody said that on the forums as well. Yeah.
So to me, that. I didn't believe who she ended up with. Like, ending up with Lawrence seemed a little bit. So I was all about Lawrence's sister. I rewrite things. If it's boring, I'm going to rewrite it.
And she had sex with, what's his name, Kyle?
Kit.
Wait, can we talk about his last name? Paramore? Paramore? Can we talk about that for a minute? I don't. Come on.
Oh. That's funny. I didn't notice that.
Because then he was everyone's lover, and
He
so
was with everybody. That
he
painter
didn't
guy.
care. He didn't care. He just anyone.
And also, no reasons at all in chat says the sex party was bizarre. It was. We were just
that
what?
was weird.
That was weird.
Well,
the
the
sheet
part
thing
where
was
she was-
weird. The sheet game was super weird.
But the scene where she was in the bath, okay, I've read all the Zelda and Scott Fitzgerald biographies and things. I've read all of them. And Zelda used to do that all the time.
What?
She would have people just come over for parties, and she'd still be in the bath, and she'd invite all the men in and the women, and just be like, most of the men, and just be like talking to them while she was in the bathtub.
Yeah. Maybe that was a 1920s socialite kind of thing to do. It's like they didn't have hot tubs. Like, open up a hot tub.
I kind of dig it.
It was. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Everybody, but was it? It was
But
just
it was
a little
like a key
abrupt.
party. It was like a weird key party,
Totally.
like Ice Storm kind of thing. I don't.
As opposed to the normal key parties we all appreciate.
Yeah, it was like a regular key party.
I always feel like I'm like in the wrong San Francisco because I have never been invited to any kind of kinky sex party, and maybe I just don't know the right people.
I will introduce you to those people if you really want to know. I will.
I don't now. It's too late. But like back then, like come on.
There was this thing that was kind of like the thing in San Francisco called Tribe. Do you remember Tribe?
Yes, I remember that.
So the kinky people hung out, and that's I remember very specifically being invited to lots of those types of parties.
I heard there was a whole cruise ship thing that you can just you're like, it's a cruise ship full of like swinger people, and that's it.
And you know you'd get on that cruise ship and it would be all like the oldest, worst people, and you'd be trapped
Like
on
the
a cruise
people-
ship sex
yeah.
party.
Like
And
you
you're like,
never want to see naked, and they're naked all the time. They're like at the buffet naked.
Oh.
You know, it's like that.
This is exactly how it'd be.
They carry naked. They're like, they're playing darts naked. Like,
Shuffleboard naked.
naked shuffleboard's the worst because you really. The pool is actually the worst because the balls line up with the balls, so it's like
This seems dangerous.
I would just be like every place. I'm a very big hypochondriac, so like I would just carry a black light everywhere. By the end of this cruise, I'd be like huddled in the prow, like.
You're scared to go one of the lifeboats. Just don't touch me.
So many pubes. So many pubes.
I feel like you would just be in like a swimming pool filled with Purell.
You're like Howard Hughesing it. You've got like tissue boxes for shoes.
Oh God!
She's gonna go full bubble boy after this.
I know. I'm just like just put saran wrap on each body part.
Yeah, like every time I see someone.
That's a different party, Felicia. The saran wrap body part party is a different thing.
Okay, it's a different thing. It's a different fetish. Okay.
Fetish, yeah.
Oh boy.
Some of these fetishes can actually appeal to hypochondriacs because they're very clean and there's not a lot of body. You keep your body fluids to yourself, and you have. That's like a lot of S&M isn't about actual sex. It's about.
Oh boy, we're doing that next month. Let's save it. I'm so worried about March or February, whatever.
About it, so I'm just bringing it up. But Veronica, if you want to be invited, I'll make sure you know those people.
Wait, what is this? What?
What?
I'm part of San Francisco, and I can.
I'm
How-
good.
No, she was saying in her youth.
In my
college.
wild days, I'm a married lady now.
Well, I was just invited to a spin the bottle party this weekend for 70s theme. I know there's a lot of polyamorous couples that go to this that are in this crowd. I'm not going to that.
Yeah.
I feel like such a prude. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying it makes me very uncomfortable.
We had this Sex and the City episode about this when Carrie was dating some young guy who was like up for anything, and she got invited to. They played Spin the Bottle in that episode too, and it got to the point where she's like, "I'm too old for this. Like, I can't deal with all those polyamorous and also like let's do whatever with everyone." And
I'm too tired. I just want to get in bed at 8 and read. I don't want to spin the bottle.
Honestly, like most of the people I'd be attracted to probably just don't want it to be touched to begin with. So I just don't want to deal with it. It's very exhausting. I would assume it's exhausting. So I don't want people coming and watching me bathe. So that whole inviting in to watch me bathe, I would be like, there's not enough Mr. Bubble in the world to make me do that.
Okay, let's keep moving. Talk about, a lot of people in the forums loved Tusker the most. So let's, the ant, the elephant gun, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She was pretty cool.
She was cool. And Helen, what did you guys think of? Were there any standouts in the rest of the cast where you're like Helen, or what was her name? Helen. She was crazy.
Yeah.
She was the one in the bathtub, right?
Bathtub swinger murderer.
Yeah.
The murderer.
Yeah, figured out that she was the murderer pretty soon, because she is nuts.
I had no idea. I thought it was maybe Rex. I got really I thought it was Rex for a little while.
I was sure it was her because she got all like, "Don't touch Kip Paramore, lady," and then they got all drunk. They drank a lot. They drank like 3 bottles of gin and like 4 bottles of champagne.
I was trying to keep track. Like, I was actually a tally off to the side of how many times they mentioned drinking or there was a drink. And honestly, like, I know there's a lot of drinking in the 20s, but that's a lot of liver damage for a group of people. Like, a lot of liver damage.
But they had a lot of, stuff from the war. So they were just like, they were burying it all in alcohol.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, all the drinking. So
all the drinking.
All the drinking. I don't know. As I'm drinking, saying there's way too much drinking in this show. I don't know how people do it.
Drinking is awful.
Cheers to that.
I wish there wasn't any gin in the world. It's just I don't know why people. Yeah.
Googly gins.
Okay, let's
Why
talk
do people
about
drink this?
Let's talk about one thing. Cindy, I'm going to do some interesting comments on the forums. Being an animal lover, I had issues with the hunting, but it made sense and wasn't gratuitous. It made me cringe, but I appreciate the way she portrayed it. Guys, I can't even think about Africa without, like, sobbing, because I'm like, we're killing the gorillas. We're killing all the cheetahs. Did anybody see that documentary, Virunga or something? It's on Netflix. It's probably the saddest thing I've ever watched 20 minutes of.
No, I can't. I won't watch it then. I couldn't even watch that food one, where they shoot the baby chickens. I can't. No.
I know, it's just awful, and I know we're all in denial and would change our behavior if we had to be, exposed to this, but that, oh my God. Anyway, so even when she killed the buffalo, I was like, no, sobbing. And the story with the baby elephant who got killed, sobbing.
Oh God.
Well, like anytime I'm like confronted with animals getting hurt, it turns into a Disney movie for me. So it's like anything with
Bambi.
Thinking Lion King. Anything with the elephant, I was thinking Dumbo. Like I'm very animal, and in half the books I read, I would be more than happy if the animals just uprose and like killed all the humans. I'm cool with that. And anytime an animal gets injured in a movie, I'm more
Oh
concerned.
no, are you
Oh
kidding?
God, I die.
Oh my God, if a dog, like, I love the movie John Wick, but it's very hard to watch when you know
No,
what's
I know. I don't want to talk about it. I cried.
I haven't
sobbed.
seen it, and I didn't know that, and now I can't see it.
Bonnie, I swear to God, I sat there and I sobbed for like 15 minutes.
Why did you
Ryan was
sob?
like, "It's a movie. It's a movie." I'm like, "I don't care."
I was in the theater crying. I was in the freaking theater crying. And then I was like,
I'm crying now thinking about it.
And I was like, you know what? If I was going to go completely ballistic and wipe out an entire, like, wing of the mafia, it would be because someone hurt my dog.
Yeah.
I would go through it. I was like, that is a documentary. That is not fiction. I would totally go
Lose my shit.
lose my shit and kill everyone if they hurt my dog. So when I see animals getting hurt in like books, but it's so weird with this one because it's a safari, right?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of understand it, but I thought she was very empathetic in the way that she portrayed the animals and the way that Gideon, or what is his name?
Gideon.
Yeah, Gideon was talking about the animals. Ryder, I mean, he made him 20,000 times hotter because he was like, I like to preserve the circle of life. I'm like,
Yeah.
Ryder.
I had issues with, I don't know if we want to bring this up about his possessiveness.
it was a little, he had that little alpha like, come here, baby, I'm going to take you. Let's talk about Ryder because there were a lot of comments about like, over the line with the like, I'm gonna murder you and assault you and leave you in the middle of the woods. Like that was not hot.
I could do that if I wanted to.
Yeah, there was a
and
little
then
bit
that's
of,
all
like-
hot.
Some of the writer comments early on were a little bit like, "Whoa, dude, whoa, like chill out,
Chill it out.
we'll take it down a notch."
That's not a good pickup line, saying you could you can murder someone and that's that. But
Just so you know, I could rape you right now and leave you out here in the African bush,
That's
and
literally
no
what he
one would
said.
know, and you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Because the hyenas would eat you.
But
so-
I'm a good guy.
But I'm not
So-
gonna do that. So you should have sex with me later.
I don't think I've been on a date in a while where they said, I'm not going to rape you, isn't this date going well? Like, that's not usually a good way to like make a woman feel secure that I could kill you, but I'm not gonna.
That'd be kind of awesome if you were on a date. No, this is not awesome, but someone should maybe say this at some point and tell me that they did it. But they're on a date and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, are you having fun?" And you're like, "Well, you haven't raped me yet, so
So thumbs up.
things are looking up."
Yeah. No, it was really over the line, and I think a lot of people online were definitely talking about how that was a turnoff. But he kind of redeemed himself toward the end of the book a little bit more, I think, because I thought he was kind of hot, especially after the lion hunt. You know, where he's very respectful of the lion. I don't know. That was hot. That kind of made up for his crazy
Lions
and
had
murder
more
and
sex
assault.
scenes than they did.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's true. That was way more sexier than this.
Forums is that there were more sexy animals than with that. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
At least they didn't mix them into each other. At least there wasn't a bestiality scene, because I was waiting for that.
Oh, God.
Why were you waiting for that?
Why would you do that?
Why did you think that was gonna happen?
Oh, I just assume if you're in a safari, something like
Because
that at some point.
Because
But
there's animals in the book, you assume they're gonna have sex with them. We have never. Oh.
Bonnie, I think that you have been staying up way too late for too many nights.
Although I
It's
did,
you.
I have this thing where I had to explain the book club a couple of times, and for some reason I always go back to the fucking dinosaur, like ghost
Oh, God,
dinosaur
you should
erotica.
read-
And when you try to
Reward
explain
stuff.
that book, like it just sounds like bestiality. There's no way around it. It's like dinosaur bestiality, and then you're like, what the hell did I just tell people I do for a living? And then that's.
there's actually a great movie on Netflix. It's a Bigfoot movie. It's an independent horror film. And at one point, the woman that's being held captive by Bigfoot has that kind of like Stockholm syndrome where she's trying to flirt with Bigfoot because she thinks she might get released. And it's like, no, this is an animal. You're not going to get out of this, lady. You're going to die. But then I was like, that is your Bigfoot rocket. That's Beauty and the Beast, basically, which we're going to get a new movie with Emma Watson playing Beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a good Bigfoot sex scene because of that. I don't know. They're the same type of creature as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
but
God. It was so hairy. Listen, Janessa has an interesting comment on the forums. One thing that made me uneasy was the characterization of Jude and how her relationship with an abusive husband is almost romanticized. She acts as if the fact that Anthony hits her doesn't bother her in any way. And I agree. What did you guys think about that, and why was that in the book? Why did you guys think that you portrayed that relationship? Because it didn't go anywhere. She never left the guy. Yeah. He never got in trouble. Basically, he just continues in an abusive relationship, living in her aunt's house, who hated her for remarrying, but he's still abusing her. So, like, what did you think? What did you think about that?
Doesn't Ryder beat up Anthony at some point? Like, I feel like he...
Yeah, Ryder beats the shit out of Anthony in the first scene we meet him in. Yeah.
In the very first scene, which is, like, hot, kind of, and then I was like, why do you think that's hot? That's terrible. But the guy turned out to be a prick, so it was like, oh, he's hot.
I'm cool with the guy beating up another guy for being a jerk, for being cruel to women. I don't know, maybe at that time period and also in that socioeconomic situation, it just wasn't... like divorce necessarily wasn't common, or leaving your husband wasn't an option. I didn't understand why it was in the book. Maybe to show an opposite relationship of what Delilah and Ryder were having. It was awkward, and it was kind of hard to read because you don't want to read women that do that. Even today it's hard for women to leave abusive relationships. I was in one. I think some of us have been in that situation where you can't see past what's happening until you're out of it. You don't know how bad it was until you're not in that relationship anymore. So maybe that was the type of mindset this woman had. I'm not sure. I don't want to judge her too harshly because we've all had some sort of bad relationship situation where that may have been the case, either physical or mental abuse. So it was odd in the book though. I thought. I agree with you 100%. I'm just trying to figure out what it did for the book, what it was trying to convey, if anything, in terms of the main storyline.
And that's what I was saying. I don't see that there was any connection. I didn't understand it.
Yeah. But are they in any of the prequels, or?
I don't know. No, they have to be specific to, because they didn't know each other. Delilah did not know them before she left from Paris.
Right.
Yeah, so,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird because there was no reason for it. It didn't go anywhere. Like, their relationship existed, and they were kind of hopeless, and then they just stayed hopeless, so.
Yeah.
Well, Delilah and Ryder aren't them, because, the ending of this book is odd, and you don't really know if there's a happy ending for Delilah and Ryder, the way they act with each other, and how true it is. It's like it grows, but it's a weird relationship, so you're not too sure what to think of it.
Well, do you remember the ending of Out of Africa? She sees Robert Redford fly by in the plane, and it means that he's free, and she's let him go.
Yeah.
So I felt like this was like the opposite, and it was kind of a tribute to that, because it means that he's coming home instead.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Can we real fast touch on something? The chat room is getting worked up because I think they think we were making light of the rape situation or the potential for rape situation.
Oh, no.
We're not making a joke about that. I think what we're touching on is the fact that, as a woman and, men as well, but primarily women, when you are with a guy, that is something that pops into your head, especially if it's a stranger, someone you don't know very well. That is a potential that we live with as women, or as... I always feel like I have to say also men, because that does happen, but
it does.
From our experience, we're talking about our life experience, that's something. So in this book, when he's threatening her with that, I think it hit a nerve with a lot of us readers, because you're like, that is something we have experienced, or that is something we have feared experiencing, or that is something that we are familiar with as women, being a thing that we have to think about.
Right. So
also it's scary. In a lot of romance books, and I don't know why, this is women writing for women primarily. A lot of the men in the books use the threat of violence or intimidation or overpowering is portrayed as being very sexy. And it's really interesting why that is a recurring theme in this literature. Especially, I think it was especially jarring in this book in that he said, I could basically assault you right now and nobody would hear you screaming, and and Delilah was like kind of turned on by that. So it was very like it made me uncomfortable because my heroine is comfortable with something that I feel uncomfortable with, and I think that's where we were trying to sort of not play around with it, but sort of address it in a way that wasn't too heavy. But sorry.
You're in our chat room right now, and you think that we think rape is something to make fun of, and we're making light of it, then you've never watched our show, and you don't know anything about us.
They're also saying there was someone making a comment, making bad rape jokes in the chat room, too, so I may have missed that portion. But I just also wanted to clarify for people who maybe are watching for the first time and think that would be something we would make light of.
There's always a troll in every chat room, and there could very well be someone in there right now just being a jerk, trying to stir shit up. And
listen, I mean, I want to be honest with you, though, especially in gaming culture, that word is thrown around. I actually have a kind of rape joke, not a rape joke, but someone says something about, uses the word rape, I think it's Tink in the first episode of The Guild. And I did that because that's kind of how people talk online, and it's bandied about. And, of course, now I'm, like, horrified. Oh, my God, Felicia, what were you thinking? But when you're in an environment where it's not taken as it's taken lightly, then you think it's fine too. So there are so many levels of, and I always want us to be conscious of the fact that we as a society shouldn't treat that as a joke, just as we don't treat other things like, oh, you're gay, as an insult, which again is very prevalent in gaming culture and online culture. So and some people go over the line, but as long as we as a group can kind of agree, like, okay, here's a line, and please try to take that to heart.
And I want to say that we address this in every freaking episode that we do. We've had so many books I've lost count of that have rapey type scenes in the book, and we've addressed this every single episode that happens in. So if you're a first-time watcher, just know that this comes up a lot, and we talk about it a lot, and we would never make fun of anyone who's ever been raped or the actual act of it. So just know that, and people that have been watching know this already.
I think it was a comment in chat, but regardless, it is because listen, we have to talk about it, or we're not bringing it up, and there's always a line where you're like, oh my God, I said something that's going to offend somebody. So it's a really tricky subject, especially when you talk about romance, when a lot of the time it's not glamorized, but like a razor's edge of men being aggressive, being attractive is like it's almost uncomfortable to deal with, because it's like books deal with it in a different way,
It is, and since we're dealing with it, on a daily basis and in a lot of forms, it's hard not to have that kind of gallows humor about it, to lighten it up, to make ourselves feel a little safer,
Take control of it in some way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's where we were going with that.
Because I have a giant penis pillow behind me. I'm sure I offended you.
Hey, we are sex positive ladies. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a penis pillow in the background.
Sex positive, rape negative. That's where we're at.
Guys, gosh, we're really running late, so let's just do our casting and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, did anyone picture anybody in these roles?
Yes.
Go.
So for Delilah, like I said before, I'm a big Fern Fisher fan of the Fern Fisher murder mysteries. So Essie Davis, who plays her, I was thinking of her, but a little bit younger. Or Haley Atwell from Agent Carter. I could totally see her in that role too, so I was picturing her as that. Writer, Felicia's going to kill me, but I was thinking of Jensen Ackles for that.
Oh, really? Awkward.
Oh, that's weird.
Right? This character is like a guy's guy. He's not our usual, gothy dudes that are skinny and you can break them by bending them over backwards. They're not that.
I can't picture him being like,
and then you have to kill the lion.
I'm not like athletic jock type guys. I'm more of your Benedict Cumberbatch type. So I don't know if this is more like a Liam Helmsworth. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Helmsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Hemsworth. Kind of guy, or I don't know. So I just went with, I'm sorry, I went with Jensen. At least I didn't say Killian. I mean, I could have said that.
Oh, so awkward, but that's actually good casting. I don't know. Oh, awkward.
Oh god, it's weird.
Okay, and then I have 2 more, and I thought of Rex as, and there's a couple other people thought this too, as Mark Gatiss, who plays Mycroft in Sherlock Holmes. And then,
that's a good one.
And then Tusker, I was thinking Miss Dame Judi Dench.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's mine.
Is she too old? How old was Tusker supposed to be?
Like 60s.
Oh, okay.
I think she was supposed to be 60s, yeah. A lot of people online said Tusker is Judi Dench. Katharine Hepburn, a couple of frackies said.
Oh.
Catherine Hepburn's
dead.
So super old.
Well,
So
she's
zombie.
too old then.
Okay.
Zombie Katharine Hepburn. Okay.
Hepburn, okay.
I really thought Timothy Oliphant. Remember him from Justified?
Oh yes, I just watched the season premiere.
Well, that is so weird because 8-Bit Cook just said, I like Timothy Oliphant too, but the chat room is lagging behind us.
Oh, did somebody say it
Did she
before me?
I think she read your mind.
I
Or
want
is it the
to-
future.
Oh god, Timothy Oliphant. Whew.
Wow.
That's crazy.
My whole face just got really, really red.
You're pink. You're very pink.
I'm changing mine. I'm changing mine to yours because yours is much better.
I
Yeah?
kind of pictured like young Harrison Ford, so maybe we're bringing it back to the Han Layla thing.
Yeah. For Delilah.
Yeah, Delilah.
What about that girl?
Delilah.
Delilah.
What about the girl in Fast and the Furious, Jordana Brewster?
Yeah.
No,
Too
she's not
tan.
sassy enough, is she? She has to be sassy.
I will say that Eva Green in the movie Cracked is in that sort of time period, a little bit later after that time period, I guess in maybe 30s. So I don't know. But I always say Eva Green and you guys make fun of me, so I try to...
Oh, she's good.
No, we got a lot of Hugh Jackmans. We also have
Ooh.
Haley Atwell. We also have Essie Davis
That's Fern Fisher.
from Miss Fisher, yeah. And Michelle Dockery, who I think actually could work. I mean, she's not flamboyant enough. It needs to be somebody who can enter a room and just be like, I'm amazing. Look at me. I'm wearing no back, you know.
Yeah, like Catherine Zeta-Jones or something like that.
Oh, I know. Morena Baccarin. She has that attitude.
Oh, yeah, she'd be
Where
sassy.
she's just like,
Or why not
hello.
just the chick from Downton Abbey that plays Mary?
That's her, yeah.
Love her.
Michelle Dockery, that's who I said.
Yeah. Oh, you said
Yeah.
that? Oh, I wasn't listening to you. I'm sorry.
Shia LaBeouf minus the crazy? For who?
For Ryder? No. For Tusker?
Wolf as like one of the animals.
I really like Shia LaBeouf in that new Sia video. Have you seen it? The one where he's
Oh,
dancing with
yeah.
little girls. He's pretty good in that.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
actually, I have to give that to him.
Yeah.
He is actually pretty effective.
I
Okay,
don't know what's going on
Anne
with him, but he's great.
Hathaway. Space Rambler says Anne Hathaway, and that's a really good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'll work.
I could see
All right,
that.
well, we got a good ones. A lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys?
Wait, I didn't do any casting.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Kyla. Go.
Go, Kyla.
Kyla?
So this is gonna be awkward, but I just want Misha Collins to play everyone.
From the women?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
You want me
messing
to guys
with
the women
Felicia.
to you?
I'm just messing with Felicia.
Why?
I'm just doing it to
Sorry,
upset you.
Felicia. If you acted in a show full of gross, ugly people that weren't talented, we wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. But
If
I
you
need to
were
work
in a
with
show
people. Yeah.
that I have a major crush on that guy,
I
then
still have a
not
massive...
really. He's a love. I'm sure he's a lovely man. He's married, has children. He's a wonderful person.
I mean, I still have a picture of the Winchester's dad. So, I mean, I don't know. What does that say about me? I like hunters.
Anything else, Kyla?
No, I just like fallen angels.
He's pretty good, and he's a very nice person too. Okay, guys, here's the deal. Next month is February. We have our hangout on the 24th, I believe.
Yep.
Here's the situation,
short
guys.
month.
I know it's a really short month. 50 Shades of Grey is releasing on Valentine's Day, so obviously.
He's releasing. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you're drunk. So we thought that we would theme the books around that. Now, a lot of you were talking in chat about not wanting to read 50 Shades of Grey for the alt or the main. So, Bonnie really wants to do an alt vlog on 50 Shades, but I can pick a different alt book than 50 Shades, so we have at least an alternative to tear apart. And
since it's my pick and my decision, I'm just gonna go ahead and executively say that for the alt pick, just go ahead and pick one of those other books. Felicia.
Yeah, so it's bared. So the alt will be bared to you, a Crossfire novel. Yeah. All right. Yes. And then our main, Bonnie picked because she thinks it's the best representation. What is it, Bonnie?
It's called Story of O, and it's considered a classic about S&M romance. And it was written in the 50s, and you can get it anywhere. I mean, you can get it on Kindle really cheap, but you can get it at any used bookstore. I mean, seriously, like, this has been around forever, this book. And I really like it because it's shocking. It is going to be shocking. This is going to make
I'm scared, and I'm going to put trigger warnings on everything. You guys should not...
It's not as bad as some of the Cthulhu anthology stories, but I will say there's some things in there that you're going to be like, oh, I just learned something I didn't know and maybe don't ever want to remember.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Not as bad? I don't remember anything bad in that movie.
Really good writing, the character development's good, and the world building's interesting, so I think you will like it. And then I am going to go ahead and do an alt vlog on 50 Shades anyway, because I have thoughts and opinions about that book, and I really want to say them. So maybe
if we can, we should all watch the movie so we can incorporate
the book
and that thing apart.
I have to go see the movie.
Yeah.
All right, Bonnie, let's go see the movie.
I'm going to be on a podcast, so I have to go see it.
We did take out the tampon scene, so yay.
Oh, God.
That's like the biggest scene.
I know. Anyway.
I never even read the book, and I know about that scene.
By the way, 50 Shades are great, and I'm just going to put this out here because I hate it when people complain about books they've never read. So here's the thing. If you don't like a book, that's great, but you should at least read it before you just get on that bandwagon.
I read it.
Because I really hate it when it's like banning books because you don't like
it's like trashing Twilight when you didn't read the book, even though it's not good. At least read it. Okay, well we'll have a lot to talk about in February. And we won't have a guest because I don't want to traumatize anybody.
Well, but we have as a guest on that show.
If you have an idea of somebody, we can bring them in. I'm so traumatized just by the Wikipedia on the story of O that I don't know if I can even make it through the whole hangout. So
please just give it a try. I mean,
I will.
In colleges, it's fine. It's
okay.
fine.
Okay, it's literary.
We had to read
I'm just really you guys are just ignoring.
No, we
ignoring Cass. Okay.
All right.
I'm done.
Okay, well, we will see you guys next month. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel because that helps us. And join in on the forums at goodreads.com/vaginalfantasy. We will see you next month with a, I don't know, February hitting sex books.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, God.
That's it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.